Well, you know, we tried. We tried to keep all the runners alive. We tried to get through this thing without, any of the PC's blood being spilled, but we lost a man today. And we're not out of the woods yet. And by woods, I mean cybernetics facility. Whoa, what's up with the weird run? That was odd. We're in the garage now. I gotta make some choices about what to do. Whoa, with my disappearing cyber zombie. You step into the garage, prototype in tow. Before you are the two vehicles you knew be waiting, your client's van and the lodge, and nobody but you knows what the presence of the second van means. Decision time, boss. I can't say I like the idea of handing this thing over to Schmidt. Lord knows what he's going to do with it. Dietrich is right. Dietrich's right. We're not talking about a piece of merchandise. There's a living troll under all that chrome. It's your call, boss. Can't say I envy you the decision. Hey. As you approach the Mark 6, its head turns to track you. Body held at rigid attention. God, it's eerie. It's like it's waiting for something. Here we go. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Glory takes a moment to examine the protrusion at the base of the Mark 6's spine, then she pops the case on the cyber zombie's control unit. Her sculpted fingers flicker and dance in the Mark 6's circuitry. A moment later, a strange shiver runs through its body. It stumbles forward, lurching awkwardly on its feet. A few seconds later, it seems to recover. It stares at its hands for a moment, then turns to face you. The Mark 6 speaks two words. Its voice is as brittle as broken glass. Oh, wait, thanks! Slowly, mechanically, the cyber zombie reaches up to grip its head in both hands, and it squeezes. Caught in the vice-like grip of those heavy industrial arms, the Mark 6's cyber skull might as well be made of tinfoil. The air fills with the tortured sounds of tearing plastic and buckling steel. The Mark 6 gives a final heave, and its armored skull crumples like a paper cup. Its body goes slack and it topples to the ground, dead. Blurg! Objective failed. Glory looks in your eyes and you can see a flicker of warmth. It was the right choice, NightSass. He clearly wanted to die. Dietrich put a hand on her shoulder. Let's load the body into the van, Glory love. Herr Schmidt won't be happy, but the hell with him. He never said the Mark 6 had to be returned alive. Crushed by his own crushing appendages. Rip troll. Rip mysterious troll. Your subway car is empty on the return trip to the Kreutz Bazaar. The stretch of the sprawling U-Bahn tunnel system doesn't see much use, it seems. At least not at this hour. As the train rattles on, you find yourself lost in thought. Old memories creep unbidden to the forefront of your mind. Memories of Monica in the old days and the crew you used to run with. Memories of success and failure. Of wealth and poverty. Of pornos and cars full of cheeseburgers. Halfway back to the Kreutz Bazaar, you're jolted out of your reverie by a buzzing sound. Your comlink. You're receiving a call. It's Amsel on the line. NightSass. I trust I'm catching you at a good time. Yeah, I'm on the train back to the Kreutz Bazaar. You can tell it's the future because I have signal on my phone. Good. I have news. In your absence, I've made contact with another prospective client, a rather elusive woman of Aztlaner descent. Calls herself Frau Mueller. She would not discuss the specifics of the job with me, but she did tell me she was offering for the job. 36,000 million. An impressive enough sum to justify a consultation. When does she want to meet? In half an hour. If you're on the train back to the Kreutz Bazaar now, you should make it here with no time to spare. I insisted that if a meeting were to take place, it would have to be at a location of your choosing. Frau Mueller has agreed to this. Where should I tell her to meet you? Yeah, the cafe. Noted. I will set up the meet. NightSass, there's one other thing you should... Your comlink cuts to static. A moment later, the lights in the U-Bahn car flicker and wink out. You hear screeching sound of steel on steel and the train grinds to a halt. Oh, yeah. Looks like the whole station's lost power. Oh, an interjection. It's a fuse box. Something looks out of order. The old fuse that is in bathroom to track. Lights in bathroom go out. The status light next to track remains red. Alright, it's fine. Floor drugs? A new fuse, okay. What the hell's even going on here? Item fuse. Add an extra fuse to bathroom. Extra fuse to track? No. Okay. Swap the old fuse to track. Add an extra fuse. There we go. Needed 2. It looks like the console can extend the nearby bridge to cross the tracks. Let's do it. You guys remember Blitz? Oh, we can barely see the hand in front of our faces. Alright, so Glory's gonna pop that door for me. It's dark as shit back here. Good thing I'm in a video game and I can hold Alt and see what I can interact with. Oh my god! It's an ambush! Shit! I never expected that was going to turn out that way. Oh no. Hacha! God, you suck, man. Where are you going, man? NightSass! These mercenaries ain't shit. It was easy. Encrypted PDA, huh? Okay, whatever. We'll deal with that shit later. Are we still in a fight, or more guys? Let's do one of these things again. $7,000 turns go by. Ah, there's more enemies. Okay, good. That's fine. Continued trapping. Let's get Dietrich back into this other room. NightSass finds some cover. Yeah. So here's a bit of Shadowrun trivia you might not know about. There was a Shadowrun miniatures game that used action figure-sized minis. You should look it up. The sculpts are actually pretty good. But yeah, the game itself was not great. Oh, you need to get the fuck out of there, man. What the fuck? Ah, my wizard. Seriously, dude, just hit him like one time. Did he just die? Did I lose my wizard too? Oh, this is butts. No, I'm reloading that shit. I'm not losing fucking 2 characters. Load game. Bullshit. Totally bullshit. I shouldn't have run him in like that. Let's try that again. It's not permadeath for him? See, like, that's the weird thing, is like some characters die for real and some don't. I don't... Oh, it's like at the end of the whole mission? Okay, whatever. Let's just do this and get through it. Glory, I love you, but I don't know if I can keep bringing you on missions. You're not very good. You're kind of bad. Oh, they're all still alive? Okay, cool. Well, then I'll just blow through the mission. It's just if NightSass dies, right? Yeah, I'll switch to Iger for the next mission, probably. Like, she's really cool, but I just find her aim is not great. Like, I have to compensate with spells just to get her to hit. Okay. Grab that thing. Get everybody reloaded and ready for the next room. No wound to heal? Okay. Alright, NightSass. Get yourself in position. You can cast aim on Glory. Glory, go open the fucking door. Dietrich, I don't know. Can stay there, I guess. Oh, what? They can still shoot from there? Bullshit. Alright, NightSass, kill this guy. Yeah, this is going a lot better. Nice. Alright. Hey, over here, asshole. Yeah, get me. You know, it wasn't so much that I don't care about Blitz, it was that I didn't want to lose 2 guys on a run. Like, 1, whatever, no big deal, but 2 would have been really super annoying. Dead. There we go. Thank you, Glory. Bust that door open for me. And there's nothing in there. Wait, there is something in there. That was weird. There we go. That's right, I got the grenade from there last time. Yeah, I remember. I got the loot. Of course, not going anywhere with that bridge down. Yeah, let's go. Let's get on the seeing. The rest of the trip home was uneventful. No shit. After that, one thing is clear: someone's hunting you. The ambush was no chance-gang warfare, but an organized attempt on your life. Green Winters was right. Whoever killed him is now after you. The PDA you retrieve from your attackers may hold some answers. Time to return to your safe house and consult Paula Amsel. Okay, return the data to the payphone. Yeah, let's do that. Where is the payphone? There it is, by the statue. Yeah, 1,000 credits. Well, the karma was nice. Oh, good. Everybody leveled up, too. Customized weapon or wired reflexes. Oh, yeah, wired reflexes, for real. Conductivity. No, static. Enhanced adrenals. Oh, no way. Revive. That's cool. Well, I guess he's still alive. Let's give him a Fairlight Excalibur. You are confirmed. Good work, everybody. Okay, so let's go see Amsel. Amsterdam. Hey Blitz, how did you feel about dying on that last mission? NightSass. I was hoping I'd see you. Do you have another run lined up for us yet? I'm strapped for cash. Where the hell are you strapped for cash? The amount of work you've been doing, you should be rolling in New Yen. What can I say, Chief? I have expensive tastes. He tries on a thoroughly unconvincing smile, but immediately thinks better of it. The anxious look returns to his face. How expensive are we talking? If you have a raging cram habit, I think you'd have at least some money left. Expensive? Truth be told, I'm in debt. To who? No offense if this is getting too personal, Chief. My debts are none of your business. Come beg me for work, then tell me it's none of my business? Hell no, you tell me why you need that money. Right, fine. First off, you don't need to worry about anyone coming after me. My debts are to a bunch of old contacts. If I don't pay them, I'm going to lose them. In this line of work, it's not smart to burn bridges. Second, before he asked, his debts are for services rendered. I was in a tight spot and I needed some help. He threw around a bunch of IOUs to get it. And third and finally, the trouble I was... I got Irish there, did you hear that? And finally, the trouble I was with enjoyed... Third, and finally, the trouble I was with involved a girl. I'll tell you about it if you ask me to, but you're verging deep into personal feelings territory. So if you don't want to hear me sob over my ex-girlfriend, you'll drop the subject now. So it's up to you, Chief. You really want to go down this road? Or should we keep this relationship professional? Go ahead, tell me, I'm interested. Alright, where to begin? I met Emily in Dragonfall. She was the first person who was more important to me than myself. I was crazy about her, Chief. To this day, she's the only person I met who could outdeck me, and the real kicker is she wasn't even a decker by trade. Nothing she wasn't good at. I like to dabble in rigging, but that girl could pick up anything she set her mind to. Sounds like a hell of a girl. She made things right. No matter how stupid I was, no matter what I got myself into, she made it right. Don't think much of many people, Chief. Emotional attachments aren't really my thing. Love seems like a diluted word these days, so I won't waste it on Emily. Let's just say she was important to me. And then I lost her. I didn't know what was happening. Came out of nowhere, then one day she was just gone, along with most of my decking gear. The only explanation was a handwritten note on an old-fashioned piece of paper. Leave me alone. And that was it. She'd been together for years and that was all she left me, this and that beat up old cyber deck. Naturally I freaked, we'd had a share of arguments, never anything like a huge blowout or anything. Couldn't think of anything to drive her to do anything like that. Mostly I felt hurt, so I searched for her in the real world and in the Matrix. When I turned up nothing, started tapping my contracts. That's when I turned up some debt. So did you find her? No, she's gone, NightSass. Without a trace. I looked high, I looked low, poked into everything I could think of, my contacts did the same. She's gone, Chief. At this point I've accepted that after we pay those debts though. Must be someplace you haven't looked. I don't know, NightSass really did look anywhere. Everywhere and at great personal cost. She means that much to you, you owe it yourself to try, you wimp. Yeah, you might be right. Ah, fuck. I thought I was done with this. But you're right, without some kind of closure I'm never going to be at peace with it. Thanks for the talk, Chief, I'll let you know how it goes. Please don't. You do that, Blitz, good luck. Okay, alright, so we got a little bit of backstory from that guy. We're gonna move on here. I'm just gonna pet him every time I see him, just give him little pets on the head. What's up, Dietrich? Hey, boss. What can I do for you? You ever heard of an organization called The Lodge? Lodge? Boss? Do you mean the Black Lodge? I don't know, maybe. Lodge was all I heard. Let me describe him to you. You can tell me if one I'm saying fits. Shadowy, powerful, secretive as all hell, deep pockets and a penchant for hiding the truth. They conduct all the business through dupes and go-betweens. That sounds about right. Well, if it's them, and however you're talking about, I'm not saying it is, I advise you to stay away from them. Stay far, far away, and whatever you do, don't take the money. If you do, they'll own you. Dietrich, I have something to tell you. If you're about to say what I think you are, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Well, then tell me what you've heard about this Black Lodge. I need to know. Well, the story is the Black Lodge is the mother of all conspiracies. Supposedly they've been around for hundreds of years. They've been practicing magic since well before the Awakening. Impossible, I know, but I believe it. Have you heard of the Masons, the Knights Templar, the Bavarian Illuminati? Well, they were all supposed to be puppets of this Black Lodge. None of them knew who they were working for, but the Lodge was there pulling the strings. They always have been and still are today. At least, that's the story. Yeah, that gives me a lot to think about, you kook. I'm gonna go. Take it easy, boss. I don't care about Iger right now, but I do want to talk to Glory. Glory's pallid face lights up as you approach. A genuine smile spreads across her lips. NightSass, good to see you. Any thoughts on that last run? NightSass, look at me. She extends her sculpted metal arms. Chrome glints in the flickering light. I'm not far from being what that poor troll was when I think of what they did to him. Excuse me. It wasn't right. And you did the only thing you could to make it better. You knew it would cost you and did it anyway because it was right. I won't forget that, NightSass. Not ever. You ready to tell me about that chrome you're sporting? Be patient, NightSass. An explanation for that is coming. I'm not sure you're gonna like it, though. You needed time, and I gave you time. You ready to talk about Fürstelle yet? Yeah. Glory looks troubled, more so than you've ever seen her before. Whatever memory she's dredging up must be exceedingly painful. I'm not gonna lie. Haven't been looking forward to this, but it's time. NightSass, look, I'm gonna tell you some things about myself that might change your opinion of me. It's entirely possible you're gonna hate me based on what's coming up next. And accept that. I've accepted that, and if that's what happens, I believe I deserve it. So tell me, you sure you want to keep pushing forward with this? Spit it out already! Okay. Right, here goes. So when we left off last time, I just moved from the streets of Tübingen to the warm, inviting confines of Fürstelle. Marta and I were happy there for a while, and Harrow embraced me as a long-lost daughter. Should probably take a moment to talk more about Harrow. He's going to be an important figure in this story. I don't know what his age was. He seemed old enough to be paternal, but young enough to hang with the kids, or something like a peer level. Best guess, I'd say he was in his mid-20s. He was handsome, well-built, neatly trimmed beard, and thick brown hair. There's something else about him. Something uncanny. Harrow had this charisma, this raw, magnetic attraction that just made people latch onto him. I saw it over and over. All it took was a few words and a pat on the shoulder, and Harrow would have a new convert. The other kids at the farm followed him around like lost puppies. As much as I loved Marta, as much as I thought she loved me, we forgot about one another when Harrow was around. He's obviously an intense mage. All we wanted was to be close to him, part of his inner circle. Soon enough we were. Oh, excuse me. For a girl of 17, it was all terribly exciting. Harrow had these rules of living that he would teach us, rules about self-determination, the importance of disobedience. He claimed to have taught classes at the University of Berlin, which he painted as a mix between earthly paradise and an anarchist playground. He told us how Fürstelle would be the local focal point for a new movement for the children of the fatherland. He told us we were special. We ate it up, of course. We were kids. For those of us in the inner sanctum, Harrow would share even more. Oh, they're Scientologists. He had power the likes of which I'd never seen. Not my father's drunken fists, which is the name of my favorite kung fu movie, Father's Drunken Fists, or my own childish experiments, but genuine incredible power. He said it came from the Horned God. Fuck yeah! An ancient deity that he venerated. Horned God is a totem, like Dove in Mirrorshades. Basically, it's Satan. It's the adversary. It can be either like a really bad dude, or it can be like, well, I mean, you'll see. He knew about my latent abilities right away, and he offered to teach me. Naturally, I accepted. I've heard of the Horned God. His followers have a poor reputation, especially among women. Any bad reputation they might have gained is well deserved. But there was more to it than that, as you'll see. Hang with me, NightSass. Rough waters ahead. So I became Harrow's apprentice. He taught me to channel magic, to summon spirits, to give blood to the blood god, and skulls for the skull throne. He taught me rituals and pagan traditions, Machiavellian philosophy and Nietzschean ethics, and a bunch of MRA bullshit. Above all, he taught me to connect with his Horned God, and through it I learned power and arrogance, and it was all downhill from there. For the next few years I lived at Fürstelle as Harrow's enforcer and right-hand girl. I was also his sometimes wife and concubine. Sometimes wife. But that was a distinction I shared with all the girls in the commune, including my beloved Marta. I came to learn she'd been his long before she met me, but by that point I didn't care. I'd embraced the rules of living. I was Harrow's creature through and through. I didn't ask questions, and I walked the path in front of me. Other fun facts about those years. I learned cruelty. I had power now. My new idol encouraged me to use it. Harrow did the same. Any children who didn't pull their weight were subjected to my tender mercies, and I was anything but tender. I took what I wanted rather than asking it. I liked it. It was fun. I also came to learn that Hero's horned god was not the Eichenfürst worshipped by throwback cult across Germany. It was certainly a god with horns, but it came from an altogether different tradition. Oh my god. It's not about magic. It's not about harassing mages. It's about ethics and shadowrunning, everybody. Pay attention. I want to hear you say it. Satan. Lucifer. Old Scratch. In the magically active community, we refer to it as the adversary. Whatever you choose to call it, it's every bit as bad as it sounds. I like Satan. I mean, I don't like Satan. I like Lucifer. Somebody's got to stand up to God and be like, oh, hell no. So my idol, the ancient deity feeding me my power, was the antithesis of everything that is right and good. And you know what? I didn't care. Slayer. In my times together, Hero and I committed more atrocities than I could count. At this point, I was onto all of his tricks. I knew that Fürstille was nothing more than a honey trap, carefully designed to lure local children into my master's clutches. I knew that the kids who seemed resistant to Hero's brainwashing techniques wound up fertilizing the garden. I knew Hero's entire manifesto was bullshit. And I knew that through it all, Hero and the adversary were laughing because I was laughing right there beside them. I don't want to pin the blame for my decisions on anyone but me. That said, I'd like to posit my father's connection to the Kreuzritters might have helped play into my willingness to serve the adversary. In my warped, indoctrinated little brain, I equated the church with evil, so the opposite of that I figured it had to be, well, if not good, then at least not totally bad. But I was kidding myself, of course. My new deity was the very definition of bad. Satan, the very definition of bad. Serving it made me bad. End of story. I disagree with you, Gloria. I don't think any of this was your fault. Hero is the one that deserves the blame. Satan was the best. And what if he was indoctrinated into the service of the adversary when he was my age? Would he not be at fault anymore either? Yeah, chain of abuse. Goes all the way back. No, NightSass. Hero certainly deserves some of the blame for what I became. Maybe even most of it. But personal responsibility has to come into the equation somewhere. That's true. Own your shit, Glory. I've made my own choices, and they were horrible ones. I've accepted that. You should, too. Glory pauses for a moment to collect herself. She looks haggard, and her pale cheeks are flushed, blood red. She swallows hard and presses forward. Anyway, one day, Hero invited me on a field trip. To Stuttgart. Over the years I was at Fürstille, the commune had easily doubled in size. I was thriving, all thanks to the effort of Marta and the girls like her. Hero would send the girls out to neighboring cities to lure in street kids nobody would miss. He targeted children because they were easy to indoctrinate, because nothing makes the adversary happier than the corruption of the innocent. As we drove out to pick up the new recruits, I was already planning ahead. It was a foregone conclusion I would pay my father a visit. The irony of the group of Kreuzritters getting immolated by a genuine servant of the actual devil tickled me to no end. When Hero stopped to fill up on diesel, I hopped out of the van and headed on foot to my parents' place. Hero wasn't overly concerned about my absence. I had long since reached the point I could assert my autonomy, and he knew I'd be back. I wound up at my folks' house somewhere around noon. I could hear the adversary whispering in my ear, telling me what to do. I'd long since learned... See the repeating thing? I'd long since learned to listen to its voice. It always rewarded me with extra power when I did its bidding. It told me to knock, so I did. Glory, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. As the door opened, I could feel a torrent of flames welling up in the astral plane all around me. It told me to channel them into the doorway, into my father, so I did. But of course, the person who opened the door wasn't my father. It was my mother. As I watched her flesh blacken and melt, I heard her scream. I broke into hysterics. Sexist, Glory. I heard the adversary scream, or adversary laugh, and at that moment I realized it was laughing at me. I'm so sorry, Glory. Glory nods, a grim expression on her delicate face. Thanks, we're almost to the end now. Thanks for sticking with me. It was like a lever had been pulled. All at once, the bubble popped. I wasn't a powerful servant of the adversary. I wasn't Hero's #1 girl. I was a ridiculous little fool who'd willingly tied her soul to the worst thing in existence. I mean, fairly, she'd never been... At least she'd become a toxic shaman or a bug shaman. Like, come on, you're doing okay. Realizing all this was one thing. Fixing it was something else entirely. I first knew I had to get away from Hero. So I bit my lip and did my best to ignore the happy babble of the new recruits on the trip back to Fürstille. I managed to get through the ride without screaming. Once we were back at the commune, I broke into Hero's safe, stole all the commune's resources, and ran. I love that Satan's just being a dick. Like, ha ha ha, you dumb sucker. You lit your mom on fire. What a troll. I mean, whatever they call trolls in this universe. You know what I mean. I don't know when Hero realized what I'd done or whether he even cared. All I know is that nobody came after me, so I kept running and running till I got to Berlin. Getting past the wall was fairly simple. You know how easy it is to obtain falsified papers. The biggest obstacle I faced during my flight was the adversary itself. I could run from Harrow, but how do you run from something tied to your own soul? Oh God, Glory. The haunted look in Glory's eyes is heartbreaking. It gives you another curt, grim nod. That's the name of my new Dungeons & Dragons character, Curt Grimnod. Hello, I'm Kurt. Curt Grimnod. I walked in the office of the first street doc I could find, pointed at the biggest, bulkiest pieces of cyberware. I told him to put them in me. That's actually really, like, a really interesting... Yeah, I like that. A really interesting, like, situation where she's like, I have to sever my own soul, so whatever I can afford. Shredding my essence. I stuck to my guns. After all, shredding my essence was the whole point. Glory looks up at you. Her eyes are sunken and hollow, and the aura of loss about her is palpable. She looks like a woman who's been through hell. That's all for now. That's all for now, NightSass. You've heard the tale. You know why I am the way I am. You know the things I've done, and how much I have to atone for. If you still want my company, fine. If I've lost your friendship, I understand that too. But for now, I need to be alone. Whoa, heavy, and good timing. It's good to have learned the story of Glory and Curt Grimnod. That was cool. I did not expect that. I thought that like she would get injured and like I thought it would be like a fire starter kind of thing, but it was cool that she actively was like, "No, cut out my soul." Blah. That is fucking heavy. Cool. Well, that's it for today's adventures in Shadowrunning. We're gonna end on a downer, but thanks for coming.